Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We've been posting lefty commentary videos here every single week, as well as talking about the news and playing games together over at twitch.tv/itsaustingreen. So subscribe here, it's free, and I'd love to see you over there. Come say hi. Guys, by now it's no secret that the Army has posted Cringe, and everybody hated it. If you're not caught up, about a month ago, the Army posted a series of YouTube videos dubbed The Calling. The 5 videos were created with the intent to create awareness of how inclusive the US Army is to people of all backgrounds, especially minorities and LGBTQ+ community members. And no, they were not subtle about it.
It begins in California, with a little girl raised by 2 moms.
You know, the US military, the people that are so inclusive that they love just including all of these countries in our global economy. How epic of them. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of the intros just so you can get a feel of the pandering I'm referencing. So let's take a look, and we'll talk about them as we go.
My parents were first-generation immigrants from the Dominican Republic. We shared a 3-bedroom apartment in New Jersey with 10 family members.
So there you go. Right off the bat, you can already check targeting immigrants, minorities, and low-income communities off the list, while also serving up a healthy dose of stereotypes.
With my dad's struggles, my mom had to work 16-hour days.
Yes, 16-hour days. How normal that joining the military can be seen as a solution to this, rather than maybe just reallocating some military funds so people can stop being paid poverty wages. Here's the next one.
Back in Haiti, I used to walk miles down unpaved roads to school every day.
Right off the bat, just really bad, extremely American exceptionalist take.
So when my family had the opportunity to move to Florida, it opened my eyes to a new world.
I mean, Florida is a different world, all right.
A world that I would one day want to defend.
Man, I'm pretty sure people in Florida wouldn't even want to defend Florida. I don't know what this dude saw that made him want to defend Florida, but good for him, good for him. Let's keep going.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems.
Oh, thank God. Thank God a girl boss is firing our missiles. Maybe we should stay in Afghanistan, Joe Biden.
I'm a little bit more okay with it now that I know a girl boss is firing our missiles.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
You know, nothing puts me in the mood to impede on another country's freedoms than trying to convince our own government that my moms deserve rights. So the series, you can see right off the bat, leans heavily on the fact that animated and anime shows have grown in popularity in recent years and clearly targets teenage boys and girls trying to create a sort of hero complex loosely tied to their love for Marvel and anime heroes. Finally, you can live your dreams in real life. Suit up and cosplay as your favorite action hero like Saitama or Iron Man and fight the bad guys, but you don't have any superpowers or anything, so here's an RPG. Go get 'em, kid. So some of the initial reaction, I saw lefties posting about this series on TikTok. I saw the right losing their shit on Twitter. I saw veterans and conservatives who were having an absolute field day on YouTube posting their reactions to the series. It's safe to say this series was not being received well by any side. Now let's get into a few of those intro clips showing the initial parts of what most of the outrage was about.
I grew up in an Army family. My dad, uncles, and both of my grandfathers served. So as soon as I turned 17, I asked for my dad's blessing to enlist.
You know, nothing like targeting kids to go overseas and fight the terrorists before they can even vote, much less have a drink in the US.
Dad came around, and now I've turned my desire to serve into an Army career and 2 master's degrees.
Damn, hear that, kids? Hear that, 17-year-olds? If you join the military, you could get a bachelor's piece of paper, and then you could get 2 more pieces of paper on top of that. What a deal. 3 pieces of paper for the low price of signing your name on the dotted line when you're 17? What a deal.
When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again.
Well, this is surely going to be connected to her joining the military, won't it?
But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet.
No way. You can tap into pride? Do the gays know this? I've been drinking coffee this whole time, and you're telling me I could just be tapping into pride?
Let's go! Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom.
Oh wait, so the injury didn't have to do anything with the military? Okay.
With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class, and then attended UC Davis, where I joined a sorority full of other strong women.
Oh, thank God. I almost thought for a second you joined a sorority with weak women. We wouldn't want that. That'd be disgusting.
Thank God for the strong women.
But to start off with something all the left and right-leaning people can agree on, is that this is completely just pandering.
OMG, hi sister, you're giving off real girl boss vibes today.
Thank you, I guess. Who the hell?
I tell you what, if you join the army today, I'll give you something that would literally slay with that outfit. This pink M16.
So the difference in opinion between the left and the right isn't really about whether the pandering is bad or not. We all think it's bad, but it's more about who we ultimately want the army to be. Now, most of the criticism coming from the right is about how the army has stooped so low as to recruit LGBTQ+, women, people of color, and generally anyone that doesn't have, what it takes to make it in the army. And I don't doubt that it takes a tremendous amount of physical toughness and effort to make it in the army, but it's just a fact that members of the LGBTQ+ community and POC have been extremely successful in the military before, so why are there so many conservatives making videos solely about this aspect of creating a weak picture of our military? Like, honestly, who cares what people think of our military? Does it take being jacked and macho to shoot a gun?
No, not at all.
So who cares? But regardless, this idea that we need to portray our military as masculine to the rest of the world in order to gain respect is stupid as shit. We spend more on our military than the next 10 countries combined. Why would we care how other countries view us? Here's a hint, they already hate our guts. And then the criticism coming from the left on these videos begins with the fact that the values displayed in this video and others seem to gloss over the many past cases of abuse and oppression against the marginalized groups that they target in these very videos. Just scratching the surface, we come across decades of abuse and harassment towards these people that was enabled by the military funded with our tax dollars. Just for a bigger picture, we spend nearly 1 trillion tax dollars on the military every single year. In full respect to military veterans and active military, I have 2 family members that served and are actively serving, but can we reduce some of that spending? We spend more than $2 billion a day on the military. We could turn some of that into Medicare for all, affordable education, or even abolish the private prison system and modern slavery. But I digress. And hey, guess what? I watched the rest of these terrible videos so you don't have to. So let's take a look at a few more of the hilarious moments from the videos and talk about them as we go.
I never considered myself to be a smart person. I struggled to keep up in class. Subjects like math and Spanish were so hard for me.
Good. We can check off the learning disability box and write it off as a lack of motivation. Nice. Making excuses, huh?
Rob was done listening to my excuses. So finally, I decided to stop making them. I gave myself permission to dream and refocus my life around this goal.
The dude got the gunship kill streak in COD one time and then decided to risk it all.
Training myself to pay attention, visualizing myself in the cockpit of an army helicopter. I even created something called a vision board, listing my goals.
No way. You're telling me I could have made a vision board this whole time and my dreams would have worked out?
Damn, son.
I wish I heard this advice sooner.
It doesn't take a genius to become an army pilot. It takes time and effort. Now, every time I put my helmet on, I feel like I'm dreaming. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
Now, every time I hear Predator missile inbound, I swear I'm dreaming, bro. My life's a movie.
When I came home, Mom wanted to teach me to appreciate the life I had by sending me to the Dominican Republic to stay with relatives for a year.
No, just when you thought you escaped the American exceptionalism, just when you think you're safe, it comes out of nowhere and gets ya.
It gets ya.
I had no idea what to expect. My relatives lived in a house with a tin roof.
No! A tin roof, no! Why the tin roof? Not the tin roof.
Tourists used to drive by and throw candy at us.
Okay, free candy, not gonna lie, that sounds kind of awesome. Like when they say people are putting drugs in Halloween candy, it's like, sir, where are these houses?
Tell me where they are.
One day at school, I came upon an Army recruiter and told him about my goals. He took me through all their different careers, and that's when it hit me. The Army is an army of good people.
I don't know if good is the first word I'd use to describe the Army.
Being a first-generation immigrant, I was amazed by what was normal in the U.S. Simple things like well-kept grass and smooth roads were a huge deal.
You know, here we go again. Nothing like painting the outside world as primitive, especially a country that the U.S., specifically the Clintons, have just failed spectacularly over the past few decades.
Seeing my parents succeed in this world was humbling, showing me that hard work and determination goes far. But it was one day during a 9/11 ceremony, I started seeing the Army in a new light. My whole community was there. The silent show of respect for this country was deafening. I was now determined to defend this nation that I called home.
I mean, you can tell that the boomer that wrote this thing likely thinks that singing the Star-Spangled Banner at football games or saying the Pledge of Allegiance every morning is a revered tradition. And they're completely out of touch with today's youth who, frankly, couldn't give a shit as long as Joe Biden's out there still drone-striking civilians. Why would they pledge allegiance or sing to a flag?
One of my sorority sisters was studying abroad in Italy. Another was climbing Mount Everest. I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength.
So she saw her friends in Italy. She saw her friend climbing Mount Everest. She graduated top of her class, and she decided to enlist. I feel like I'm missing some context here. Where's the logic?
And maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way.
Oh, never mind. You can be a girl boss if you enlist. It makes sense now. It makes sense. It's fine.
As long as you can be a girl boss, it completely makes sense.
So those are all the clips I have for you today. If you want to know just how bad they get, I encourage you to go check them out for yourself because there's even more that I had to leave out. Overall, I'm not surprised that the Army did something like this, but I could have never imagined how tone deaf they actually are. Like, sure, get more women, POC, and LGBTQ+ community members in the military. That's an admirable and inclusive goal. But first, let's address the mountains of systemic oppression that's ingrained in the military to start off with. Why don't we? And if you made it to the end of this video, hit the like so I know that you did, and I will see you over at twitch.tv/itsaustingreen with some news and games every single day. Peace.